Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing, and tonight I'm going to do something just slightly different. I have the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, and I'm going to pull on the collective and just see where you are headed. In particular, is there new work? Blessings. Sneezing equals blessings. So right, excuse me, that was gross. I didn't even get an opportunity to cover my mouth. But blessings. So that right off the bat is what the first thing that came to mind when I sneezed. Okay, Spirit. Besides blessings, what type of blessings are coming toward the collective in the near future? I'm feeling this one. Okay. And this one. Okay, but not, well, fine. Oh, your higher self. Dark thoughts and planning and action in reverse. Teacher. Travel. Okay. We're not going to get freaked out because of the dark thoughts, okay? That's what we're not going to do. What do I want to pull? What do I want to pull? What do I want to pull? I'm going to pull some of the Green Witches Oracle deck. And give us a couple of good shuffles. Okay. I'm going to take this over here. Alright, let's pull a couple. Spirit, what does the collective need to know about these blessings that are coming in the near future for the collective? Oh, there's one that is stuck. Harvest. Determination, hard work. Huh. Something may be coming to fruition. I'm being called to say with the harvest, because harvest to me means bounty. So whatever the seeds you've been planting coming to fruition, travel may be involved. Your higher self has you like, okay, I'm not taking all those, but I'll take that one. Alright, and the mushroom, because I flipped them over and I didn't even mean to do that. Okay, and fruit, achievement, success. Guys, that is amazing. Alright, let's start with this energy. Let's work through it. Also, I've been really in love with my little animal spirit deck. I want to see what energy you're in. Can you tell me what energy the collective, the crocodile? Okay. Water energy. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Anything else from this deck, Spirit? Animal Spirit Guide. I do not have the microphone on, so I apologize if it gets a little loud. It's been very warm. Let's see what we got. The Stingray. More water energy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, this is the lizard. This one, air? Air maybe? We'll find out. We'll find out. Alright. So, let's see what your energy is. With the crocodile, the crocodile. No, the crocodile. Let me go with the lizard first, because that's actually the section that I'm in. And that, it's fire. Fire. So you could be a fire sign. Or heavy water. Heavy water. Okay, the lizard. Here we go. Now, my glasses. We can actually see what we got going on. Alright guys, your energy. This is now and or in the near future. I didn't really pull any timing on this. Could be past, future, present. Energy is fluid, so take it as it resonates. If you haven't experienced it yet, then it's clearly coming up for you. And it could be, you know, in the near future. It could be a little bit further out, or it could be the past or present. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what yet is to be. Like, you've had a vision. In other words, you've had a vision. There have been seeds that you've been planting for some time now, and you've known that it was going to manifest. This is definitely past. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel. Travel has occurred here. Or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from bright lights and big city and return to inner artist who has been whispering your name. When in balance, artistic, telepathic, and spiritual. When out of balance, elusive, non-committal, flaky. To bring into balance a creative project. Okay? I feel like you knew that. And you went into, you put in hard work with this determination card. This recycle, breaking down problems, this kind of feels like this is also past energy, which is funny because I pulled out 3 and didn't mean to. I meant to actually pull out 2. Something you've been doing. You've been breaking down the problems. You knew that this had to come to fruition, but you've been putting in some hard work here. Let's go on to the crocodile. And the stingray. Ah, the stingray came out first. Developing confidence, sense of self, or spine. Okay, you could have been, you could have been a people pleaser. I want to just call out what I feel first before I read further. You could have been a people pleaser and said yes to things that you really wanted to say no to, right? And to get a spine, as this calls for up top, sense of self, developing confidence. You could have really accepted a lot of crap that you wanted to say no to. Your soul was telling you not to accept, but you accepted it anyway. Just kind of out of habit, and maybe it could have been relationship. You were just accepting less than what you deserved in relationship because you wanted relation. Right, we do that sometimes. Sometimes just to keep somebody in our sphere, we accept way less than what we would ever accept any other time. So, back to the boat. The Stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when Stingray must decide between old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar, the unknown. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, because you're going to go through cycles until you break it. And you do something different. As the force of Dharma growing within the Stingray is too strong to ignore, Spirit is like, hello, time to get to work and fix these things so that you don't continue to experiencing the same things over and over and expecting a different result, right? Because what this nudgings from Spirit are getting to be too strong to ignore for the Stingray. When in balance, eager, wants to grow, like a lifelong learner. When out of balance, blames others and quits. To bring into balance, move through the discomfort. That is what Spirit was calling heavily for you to do. Quiet it down, make the changes, and get a spine. Say no. Say no more to the things that are no longer serving you. Let's go with the crocodile, and I may stop it for a moment so that I can put my microphone on so that you guys can actually hear me. I hate recording a whole thing and come to find that you can't even hear what I'm saying, which sucks. We don't want that. So, let me see. Crocodile, I feel is in. There we go, it's the first one. Resting, submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off, right? This is a need to step back. Spirit is telling you that it's time to step back and take some self-care time. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. These are all, like the lizard as well, you know, telling you to stay, you know, get out of the big city and all the fast-moving things and get slow. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. No, because the stingray is calling you to make the changes. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building our energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next moves come from a place of wisdom and power. When in balance, wise, patient, and a silent powerhouse. But when out of balance, feels stuck and lashes out. To bring into balance, rest. Makarasana pose. I'm assuming that's a yoga pose. So you're being called to go within, meditate, rest, yoga. It's time to go within and practice some self-care and get away from, because you are about to go on a journey and have the success from the seeds that are planted, but it is going to take, it's really going to take you gathering, getting yourself together. You got a big journey coming in, and it's going to be full of blessings, but you really have to collect yourself. If you have fragmentation of the soul, you got to gather your pieces together. It's time to put these things together, heal within, so that you can go further. And whatever seed you've planted, Spirit is saying, it's time to focus on yourself for now, for the moment, because there's something very big that Spirit is trying to bring you and bless you with, but you must focus on self first. Because if you can't overcome this limiting beliefs and or you know, stop overgiving, stop doing things that you really don't want to do, until you can give up those things and stop doing those things and really take time and put yourself first, Spirit cannot bless you with the things that of your heart's desire. I mean, the thing that you've been working on so hard, whatever that thing is, and it's going to vary from, you know, person to person in the collective. But self-care and getting quiet and getting going within should be your primary focus, because realistically, these things are all saying the same thing. In a different, these are calling you to rest and calling you to say no. Boundary up. Okay? So that's what that's the energy that you need to be in. Okay? Alright. Moving on. Moving on, moving on. Also being called to this tiger I had the deck not flipped face down like I normally have it, but the tiger is sitting there looking at me. He's staring at me big time, like, hey, you need to talk about me. So I'm going to talk about the tiger real quick, because I'm feeling called to it. Very, very drawn to it. This may be a future energy. It's fire as well. I couldn't get over there's something about eyes. So I don't know what it is. If you have a very deep gaze, and really the eyes are the lunar force, ease and darkness, feminine energy. You need to come back get in balance with your feminine energy. And we all have both masculine and feminine. But your feminine energy is like, you're nurturing and loving and caring for self and caring for others and being tender and vulnerable. And it's perhaps time for you to get in touch with that. And whether you're male, female, they, them, he, she, doesn't matter what your pronouns are. you may very well need to get in contact and really in touch with your divine feminine within. This card reminds us to take the tiger hunts at night, at one with silence and fears nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar, and you know what, shadow work. I'm being really the darkness. We like to push away the things that we find to be dark within ourselves. But the fact of the matter is, that is shadow. We have to really come to terms with our shadow and realize that they're a part of us, and it doesn't matter. We don't want to push it away and bury it. We need to figure out why we have it. Love the parts of us that need the love, and the shadow, we learn to work with it. You know what I mean? We learn to work with it and make it a positive thing rather than pushing it aside because it's negative and it's no good and it's bad. No, it's not. It's from a trauma of some sort. You know, shadows are from a trauma. Forgive me, I look like I got big old bags under my eyes. I'm gonna put my glasses back on. I'm scaring myself. I'm tired. Anyway, maybe this is a call to me that I need to calm down and take some time for myself. So in any case, yeah, it may be time to do some big shadow work. To allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour. And the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. You know, when everyone's in bed and it's just you and your thoughts. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, and sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, Tritaka, candle gazing. It's a meditative state. You know, all of these things are to put us into a meditative state. If you're gazing into a candle, your mind can take you places. And you can look at it in water as well, kind of gazing into water as well, or a mirror, or anything that stimulates your vision or your visual field and takes you into kind of a meditative state can really get you working with your inners, you know what I mean, your shadow and everything else, the things that need to come to the surface so that you can work with them, you know. Good ideas come from that as well. When you're just sitting there and you're kind of just gazing or you're in trance, that's one of the best states to be in for bright ideas, for amazing ideas, is meditation, because downloads come from the divine, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, you know what, I need to do that. And it's very amazing. Very, very amazing. Okay, so let's move on. We have, I mean, this is just beautiful. What these three cards together are saying, we have the harvest, the mushroom, and fruit. Determination, hard work, recycling, breaking down problems, and achievement, and success. In order to get to this achievement and success, you must break down problems and recycle. And put in be determined to put in that hard work that it takes to break down these problems. Because in the end, it's going to net you amazing achievement. Absolutely, positively amazing achievement. And honestly, you know, I'm feeling called to say this is real personal to me too. And it's like Spirit is saying, once we break down, and it's funny that I put this recycling, breaking down dark thoughts. Once we break down these dark thoughts, they're not so scary. It looks real freaking scary, but this is shadow work. Once we break down those dark thoughts, you find your higher self when you put in the determination and the hard work. And the thing is, this achievement and success, you become a teacher for others, and you can take that and travel with it. You know, I'm thinking about really taking the things that I'm learning and the achievements that I'm doing and taking them and doing retreats on how to overcome limiting beliefs and things of that nature. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. But I feel like Spirit is seriously leading. Only thing is, I don't understand the planning and action, and I will, no, I'm being called to do it now. Perhaps, hold on, let me think about this for a minute. Okay, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm feeling, right? I feel like you may be frustrated that something is just not coming into fruition for you like you want it to. Whatever you've been putting this hard work into, like you've been manifesting, you've been planting seeds, this and that and the third, you've been planning, but it just doesn't feel like it's coming to fruition. But you're skipping a step. The step is, there are the dark thoughts to work through. There are the shadow work that needs to be done, and you're skipping a step. You can plan and do all the actions you want, but if you don't actually work through the inner healing that needs to be done, you won't get to this success. You won't. You're supposed to be a mentor for someone. And then travel. I mean, I don't know what travel means to you. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But no matter, you're skipping a step here. You're not attending to the dark thoughts. You're not attending to the shadows. You are planning and you're seeing, there is a such thing as toxic positivity. For sure. It's a little, it's excessive. I knew someone like that way back in the day. She was just always like, and she had all kinds of traumas inside, but never attended those. And it's toxic. Pretending to be happy all the time is not projecting true positivity. It's fake. It's wearing a mask as well. Toxic positivity and not being realistic with the inner workings and the things that are going on, that's also toxic. It's also wearing a mask and presenting as something you're not. Because nobody is positive all the time. Now, you know what? You can have joy and you can have worked through your crap, but if it's clear that you haven't worked through your junk and you're just like, yay, all the time, yeah, it doesn't work. 2222. No, my glasses weren't on. 2233. Master numbers, both of them. If you don't master the inside, the shadow, you can try to be as positive as you want. But until you attend to the shadow work that needs to be done, you are just avoiding what you're actually here to teach someone else. You got to do the work. I'm really strongly being called. Without looking this up, without knowing anything about this card, because I really haven't used this deck. I bought like 4 of her decks, which I really like, Sandra Ann Taylor. She's really good. I have probably 5 or 6 of her total decks, but yeah, I haven't used this one much. So let's look up planning and action in reverse and see what it actually says, okay? No, wait, travel was right there. Let's look at travel. Moving. You could actually be physically moving somewhere. A suitcase stands outside a beautiful door bordered by flowers, indicating there's some travel forecasted for you. This could be anything from a short driving trip to an extended vacation. However it manifests, a positive experience is at hand. There's also a possibility of relocation for you at this time. You may be buying a new house in the area or moving to another city entirely. There could be a move where your work is concerned, such as transferring of offices or going to a new job entirely. If this card is near the transformation card in your spread, some significant inner changes can be expected. This is a perfect time to make the energetic intention to move into your more joyous and optimistic mindset. But without doing this work with the dark thoughts, that's useless. That's not coming. Let yourself travel through each day with happiness. Even if you can't get out of town, you can always take a vacation from negativity, and should. And should, because when you are manifesting, you're manifesting one way or another every single day. So keeping your thoughts from the doldrums and stuff, yes, face the shadows. Figure out where they stem from. Release the limiting beliefs behind them and move on. Do not dwell. And also take breaks. When you're working through this, you must take breaks. It's very important. You cannot get caught up doing removing all the limiting beliefs one after the other, after the other, after other. It's exhausting. You need to rest also. You need downtime. So as you're working through this, you must do self-care. You must do downtime. It's highly important, or you're just you're gonna burn out. You're never gonna want to do it again. Do a little bit at a time and be consistent with it. I'm very much feeling called to tell you that it is important to be consistent and not give up. A little bit at a time though, and self-care in between. Okay, so we got travel out of the way. Dark thoughts. I really want to know about this energy, this consciousness, dark thoughts, and the planning and action in reverse. Okay. I'm cold. I'm going to turn this air off for now. Sorry guys. Freezing. And also with the volume the way that it is. Okay. So, planning and action in reverse. This card reversed is a telltale of sign of missed opportunities, plans fallen through, travels delayed, and actions not taken. You're missing steps. Just as I just freaking said. You are missing steps, and I am strongly leaning toward your shadow work isn't being done. You're skipping the shadow work, trying to get to the beautiful places. And here's what I'm going to tell you too. If you're going through some sort of a dark night of the soul, when I tell you Divine will not bless you with the goodness, the better job, the better pay, the nicer house, the better transportation, the trips, all that stuff, until you go here. Until you go within and take care of this. Once you start, and you also stop being in the middle of ego and think you know everything, because you don't. We don't. We're here to learn. And when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. This has been a period of slow moving energy for you, and it's time to pull yourself out of the quagmire. You do have some goals in mind, and you may even have done some preparation, but the efforts have stalled. Lately, your mind has been in the clouds, and your daily action has been consumed by the mundane. This card is telling you that you've got to start focusing on your higher priorities. And again, with the Stingray card, about getting a spine, and stop putting others' needs in front of your own, and say no. It's not too late. You may have been in an ebb of low energy lately, burdened with fuzzy thoughts and a slow-moving body, but it's time to shake it off. Dust off your old goals or choose a new one. Reclaim your enthusiasm for life and get back in the race. Let's talk about this. A man moves into the dark maze. It's confusing and frightening, with paths that lead to shadowy, unknown results. Stepping into the freaking unknown and dealing with your shadows. Receiving this card upright is a warning about the potential dark shadows within your inner life. Your inner... Oh, crap. Oh my gosh. That was freaky. Oh, okay. Excuse me. That was straight panic. Okay. That's really strange. Very, very strange. My tripod fell over twice. It never does that. That is really weird. I got a little excited. May or may not have hit the table a time or two. But it's just crazy. When Spirit is like, yep, that's exactly what... When the channeling comes through and Spirit backs it up, it's amazing. Because as I said, I don't know these cards well. I don't know these cards that well, but these are a little more definitive about what they're talking about. These are not. That's nuts. Receiving this card upright is a warning about the potential dark shadows within your inner and outer life. This card may be a signal that you could be drawn into questionable activities, perhaps with unsavory people. Look closely at any new endeavors in your life and the people with you whom you connect. Investigate your choices. And also, with this, you have got to release the things that no longer serve. As I mentioned earlier, it's time to get rid of people, places, and things that don't serve you. Okay? If they don't align with where you're going, you need to let them go. And if they're family, limit access. You know? Do not let them drag you back into the darkness. Investigate your choices. Tune into your intuition to determine if they truly honor you, and if each endeavor truly resonates with your heart. The most important dark alleys you should be aware of at this time, however, are the twisting patterns of negative thoughts or unhealthy habits winding through your daily life. Worrisome thinking or escapist behavior may be lifelong habits, but it is time for you to take control. Create healthier habits such as nutritious eating, regular exercise, and relaxation. As I said, self-care. Your life force vibrates with your daily energy, and you do have the power to determine the direction it takes. Choose a path of bright thoughts and healthy choices and leave behind the dark alleys, both real and imagined. I'm going to give you the affirmation for this. I consciously choose to release unhealthy thoughts or behaviors. I'm always strong enough to make choices that honor me. And don't allow other people to make choices when the other people have not got their life together. Don't do it. That is a faulty ass mistake that a lot of us do. It could be a parent, and we love the parent. But you know what? The parent doesn't have what we freaking want. They aren't happy. They're miserable. They've always been miserable, and they probably always will be miserable because they refuse to change anything. And that's fine. That's their path. But if you're trying to change things, you must limit the access that people that are not, they may love you. Nobody's saying they don't love you, care about you, but they could still be toxic. They could still lead you down the wrong path unintentionally. It's not because they want to see you do bad or anything like that. Maybe some of them do. But for the most part, people have a good, your parents and whatnot, for the most part, not everyone's, have good intentions towards you, but they could be misinformed big time, right? And they've never really known happiness in their life, so how the hell can they tell you how to be happy? They can't. You got to find somebody who's happy, genuinely spiritual, and on the path you want to be on, and you need to go and ask them how to do it. You got to lean into people that have what you want, not follow people who they have exactly what you don't want. Don't do that. Break the habit. I'm going to go into your higher self, right? Because this is spirit. I think this was in the back. Higher self. I like this deck. I like it a lot. This card shows a woman's heart with a brilliant white wings radiating golden light. Confirmation. Your higher self, the part of you that existed before this life, before all the issues you think this life is about. You're entering a very valuable and intuitive time, one in which you are able to feel the true depth of your power. You are shedding the feelings of doubt and limitation, reaching deep within to feel the boundless strength of the eternity vibrating in your soul. This is your true self, your lifeline to truth, higher consciousness, and timeless connections. Meditate on your soul's identity to gain all the understanding you need and all the solutions you seek. Your soul is clearing the way for profound blessings. Like when I sneezed when I very first got on. Yes, profound freaking blessings. So let the sacred self guide you. Listen to your intuition. If it's, listen to your intuition. May not always make sense to you, but follow it anyways. Some of the coolest experiences come from listening to the divine through your intuition instead of using your logical mind. Some of the coolest things transpire in life. Very cool. As you do, you'll begin to notice magical things happening in your life. I live in the value, power, and deserving of my eternal self. My soul connects me to all solutions. All right. Let's see. Teacher. This is the last one we have for that deck. Let's see. This one is people. Four could be a life path. 5 could be a life path, 2 could be a life path, 3 could be a life path. And we have a progression. And these are not in order like that. These each have their own section, which is interesting because these are all from a different section in the book. Oh, there's 2 2s. So you could be seeing 2 2 2. But I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a forward progression in this. So we have 4, which is teacher. Gosh, come on. A man stands in front of a desk with a woman at his side, smiling and looking into a book. The light of spirit pours out of the book and encircles them. The positive influence of someone who will guide you in personal or academic directions is entering your life. Like I said a little while ago, when a student is ready, the teacher appears. This guide may be of assistance in a very thoughtful or spiritual way. Whether you're looking into a new spiritual practice or searching for deeper psychological understanding, now is the time to learn. Get the help you need. If it's mental health help, do that. For sure. Very big advocate. I have an appointment tomorrow. I have one every Friday. Love my counselor. She's amazing. And I do all the things that I possibly can to be a lifelong learner of myself and to understand me and to better myself at all times, because it's up there with your physical health. If you're thinking about going to school, be proactive about moving forward with that decision. Teachers abound in life, including in forms you might not expect, such as a book or an online course. I have a book that's awesome. This one is very helpful. A shadow work journal. Love that book. And it actually has a hardcover book that goes with it as well. It's in my TikTok shop. If I have it linked, I'm not exactly sure. You may, in fact, be teaching some classes yourself, perhaps in small groups or in an academic setting, so get ready. Open your heart and remember that Spirit brings guidance as well. Be willing to receive the direction you need and to share the wisdom you have. Cool. I'm going to read you. We pretty much know what these are, right? With harvest and mushroom, recycling, breaking down problems. I'm going to read mushroom for sure, as I open right up to it. Card meaning. A mushroom's main purpose is to aid in decomposition. They use enzymes to break down decaying organic matter, feeding themselves in the process. Mushrooms and other fungi are also a part of a greater mycelial network, a vast interconnected network of hair-like roots that transfers information not only to other fungi but to plants and trees as well. The mushroom supports you as you break down problems into smaller issues and work to solve them separately to make incremental advances in your life. Shadow work. The discoveries you make with every step forward can be used to nourish and enrich future projects. Whatever this seed is that you're planting and that Spirit has for you in the future is going to be reliant upon you doing your shadow work. With these two mean very much the same. Okay, let's see. Actually, let's go with fruit. Achievement, success, determined. Now let's go with harvest first. Nope, I'm going with fruit first because it came up first. Fruit is tangible proof of an achievement. When we say that something has borne fruit, we mean it's been successful. In this way, the fruit card tells you that all your hard work has yielded a satisfying result. This is future energy. After you finish this is future energy. Be proud of your efforts. Producing something, a project, an object, a baby, takes time, energy, and attention, and sometimes work can be invisible to others, happening behind the scenes or internally. The fruit of that labor, however, is proof that energy was invested. Recognize and honor it. Fruit also tells you that you can catch your breath for a bit, celebrate your success. Right. Self-care. In between. Take breaks. In the middle of this work that you need to do, you also need to give yourself credit for the work that you're doing, and also time to rest in between. It's important. It's highly important. And then we come to determination. I kind of read those out of order a little bit. Goodness. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Here we go. It's the very last one in the book. I didn't look. I went through the whole first and got frustrated and went through it again because I didn't get to the end. And that is actually a message in itself. Finish. Complete the things you need to complete. Don't stop. Make it to the end. Harvest time means hard work. It's time to reap the results of sowing and tending, and that usually means a lot of effort concentrated in a short amount of time. This time can be as exhausting as when you sowed your seeds, but it's a necessary part of the successful growing season. Sometimes you might think that it's all about sitting back and enjoying the fruits of your labor, which eventually it will be with the fruit. But don't lose your way. It's important to appreciate your success, but do not lose your way. So again, don't get sidetracked. Finish. Get to the end. The harvest card directs you to collect your bounty, to recognize your blessings, and to not stop working too early. And don't think that you're, don't get egoic and think, oh yeah, I've done all the work. No. It's learning yourself is a lifelong journey. It just is. And if you're not learning about yourself and new things about yourself every day, you're probably not on this earth anymore. Just saying. You're almost there, but you still have things to see through. Work to recoup the energy you previously invested. Don't burn out. Take breaks, but don't break forever. That's what I got for you. It was really long. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. And thanks for watching. And if you have made it this far, I am going to have a contest for free readings. If you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel and you're watching on TikTok or vice versa, please do go and subscribe to the other. I do have a lot more on. I have a few things that aren't on YouTube, but I have way more content on YouTube. And they are all timeless readings. But type contest if you've made it this far, and you will be entered to win a free reading from me. I'm going to pull 2 from each platform, so if you have double chances of winning if you comment on both. All right, and I will talk to you later. Have a great night. Take care. Bye.